Hello, hello, hello. Good day, good morning, good evening, however it needs to apply for when you see it. Sorry, I got like baby locks. Want to be seen. But hey, so this morning, and when I say this morning, today is Thursday. I was thinking about something I heard in a commercial for like a job aid on YouTube. And what she said is, when you feel like something's like you're on the precipice of something, like something's about to give, you're like, something's shifting in your life. You just don't know what or why. You just feel this shift happen. Look for your progressed moon. And I've looked at my progress chart before, so I have a general understanding of what it is. And just to kind of, in simplified terms, you have your birth chart, which is the snapshot of the cosmos when you were born. There are transits that are happening because the planets are still moving and it stopped moving just because you were born. So you can look to see where the planets are now in relation to when you were born. But then your soul and yourself and your consciousness is also growing. At least we hope it is. And so you could pull a progression to see what lessons, journey, experience that your consciousness and your soul is trying to have now at this stage in the game. You still are who you are at your core with your natal chart, but you're growing and evolving and expounding on that. So certain planets move at different speeds as it relates to your progression and your growth. And the moon is the one that moves the quickest. And it's about around 2 years. If I get an exact calculation, I'll put it in the description box, but it's around 2 years. And so every 2 years, your moon is moving. So what is your moon? So though not a planet, it is a celestial body and is used in interpretations in astrology. So the moon is the divine feminine archetype. Venus would be like Mother Earth, but the moon is the divine feminine. It is the unseen realm. It is your intuition. It is your relationship with your mother. It is your relationship with the women. It is your relationship with womanhood. It is your core essence. So if you're lay down now. If you're a house, your yard, your lawn, what your house looks like exterior is your rising sign. It's how you present yourself. It's your introductory personality. When they come into your house and they get to know you a little bit and you're rising sun, that is your sun. That is your more true personality. But your moon is your inner self. It is your core. It is the depth of your being. It is what makes you feel safe, makes you feel nurtured, what makes you feel protected. It is your body. This is where 75% water, moon water, it's your body. It's a lot of things. So that's just a kind of brief synopsis of what the moon represents in your birth chart or in any chart. So watching that can kind of give you an idea of your internal landscape and what's going on and why you feel, because the moon moves feelings the way that you do. So I decided, because I too, when she said it, I was like, I really have been feeling that way. And I hadn't really, I know from a solar return perspective, this year, from a solar return perspective, I'm an Aquarius moon and a Scorpio rising. So I know that. But I hadn't looked at my progress chart in a while. So I wanted to see what I look like. So what I did is I looked at it now and I was just like, oh. So then I decided to kind of look at some other things. So one second, I'm gonna pull up my notes. So I got my notes. So if you see me looking this way, that's because, whoa, glasses. Oh, what's gonna do without glasses? So yeah, I'm gonna read. This is what I got. So I took a lot of notes because I'm a nerd, and that's what I did. So 2014 is where I went back. So I started there because I felt like I could at least generally remember 2014. So 2014 is technically my moon progressed into Cancer late 2013 because my moon moves like at the end of the year. So 2014, by 2014, I was a progressed Cancer moon. I am a natal Cancer rising. Um, so a lot of who I was, who I am, was very maternal because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So I was very moony. It's weird. I was real into my moon energy around that time. So some things that happened in Rouge Your Body, my gallbladder stopped working in 2014. I think it technically probably stopped working late 2013. It just stopped working. I didn't have gallstones or anything like that. It just said, yeah, I'm not going to work anymore. So gallbladder stopped working. I had it removed in February of 2014, which was probably a good thing. From my understanding, just talking to my mom and some other people, gallbladder issues are common in women, especially women who had children. And at that point, I hadn't had any children. So maybe that's why I didn't have gallstones or anything, because my mom didn't have an issue with her gallbladder or gallstones until after she got pregnant. And at that time, I didn't think I could get pregnant. So I got a promotion that year. Um, in my progress chart, Cancer rules my 12th house. So this is my unconscious self, house of institutions, um, the house of psychic self, um, things like that. But things I remember, big things that stood out for me in 2014 were even late 2013. 2013 was a year where I had a lot of people in my life pass away. In late 2013, it was my grandmother. And there was Hurricane Sandy, who came through wrecking shop, and we couldn't stay for her funeral. So, you think big water, that's, you know, Cancer, water sign, moon. Yeah, that was the thing. Um, but uh, the spring, I guess, not quite summer, spring, he's my ex-husband now, but I met the father of my kids. Um, and it happened really, really fast. Like we met in May, by late July, he had asked me to move in, and by September, I was pregnant. So that is a year I got pregnant for the first time. Um, my progressed moon was conjunct Jupiter, which is in your chart, your husband. If you want a husband, it's your husband. My Jupiter is retrograde, and I'm confident we were married in another life. Like I actually know where. I don't know the year, but I have a general idea of what the time frame was. Um, and it is also the year I became a progressed Leo rising. So my ascendant had just moved into Leo, which is the ascendant is your rising. So I had just moved, like literally just moved into being a Leo rising. And I think that was around the time I was really, really coming into my own at work. I had just started wearing my hair out too. So I had been natural for a minute, but I wasn't wearing my hair out. So I had just started wearing my hair out in 2014, like literally just before I met my kid's dad. Because I had literally like just started doing it. Um, so I can see how some of those things showed up. By 2016, my moon was then also in Leo. So again, I had 2 years, a few years back to back where my moon was very much a part of how I presented myself. Um, by then, I and again, late 2015 is around the time I would have moved into Leo. So my firstborn had passed away January of 2015. But by the end of 2015, I had his brother, who is a Leo rising. So my moon is in my rising sign, and I give birth to a Leo rising. Um, it's in the place in my chart, where I make money, and so I was, 2016. My son, not even 1 year old yet, and I got a promotion. I got promoted to the role I'm in now. And I also got pregnant with my youngest that same year. I got pregnant again with my youngest that same year. Um, this is also the year I learned that my middle child, my rainbow baby, was regressing, and I would soon discover that he's autistic. Um, and as I was looking at, I noticed something that my Jupiter was opposing my Venus in the seventh. And yeah, that stuck out to me. Because you think about Venus, is how you express your love, but for a man, that's your wife. So it's like the husband and the wife are in opposition. It was just something. That's how I saw it. When I saw it, I was just like, oh, okay. So when I look at 2018 and what was going on, my progressed moon was now in Virgo. My ex is a Virgo. And it was conjunct Saturn. So you think about Saturn is, blockages, obstacles. It's the lesson teacher. It's third teacher. And it was also conjunct my North Node, which is the point in which your soul is trying to. It's something that you want to accomplish. So, okay, all righty then. So this was the year I got married. This was the year I got married. Um, and when I got married, Saturn was actually retrograde in my seventh house, natal. The actual natal transit, Saturn was retrograde in my seventh house. Um, again, what you nurture, what you care about, where you feel safe, and secure, and it was Virgo, so that made a lot of that. That I can see that, like it's very literal in that regard. Virgo is also um, that would be second house progressed. So again, about money and how I make money, or how yeah, how I make money. And one thing I know in 2018 is the year that I launched the women's group. And the thing that I became very well known for at work was my the sessions that I would lead, like the events I would put together and the things that I would do for that organization and how I led it at work. So that's one of those things that sticks out to me. I actually think, yeah, it just dawned on me the year my progressed moon was in Leo is also the year that I graduated from a leadership program. I just realized that because I found out I was pregnant right around the time we were graduating. So yeah, Leo is the leader. Leo literally is I lead, and I graduated from a leadership program. And the business case for my leadership program, Thick Moon Mother, was an additional mother's room for women to use for breastfeeding. That is still there in the office today. But yeah, back to 2018. So 2018, I got married. Um, and this is the year that I got my son's diagnosis, his autism diagnosis, and he started speech therapy. Um, by then, I've got a newborn, because his brother was born late 2017. Um, and I looked at it and there was a yod in my progress chart. And so my moon had like hit the point of my yod. And for those that don't know what a yod is in astrology, this is called the finger of God. Gotta love it. God, like, especially people who know me personally and know like where I was at and how things were moving, it really makes a lot of sense. Virgo is super analytical. Um, Earth sign, so it's grounded. And I was basically trying to build like this foundational type of energy right then. But I was really in my head a lot about it, what was going on. So moving on, I know it's every 2 years, but I felt called to look at 2019 since I knew my moon moves in the latter part of the year, and 2019 was significant. The fall of 2019 was significant because I was at the peak of my depression in 2019. I didn't realize I was depressed prior to that, but I had postpartum depression after my rainbow baby. And I think that partial of that was I was still grieving his brother when I got pregnant with him. And then I kind of like, it's almost like I put the grief on hold because I didn't want him to feel that while I was pregnant. So there was like grief postpartum. I didn't do anything because I didn't really acknowledge that I was depressed when I was. So I never got help. Like I never saw anybody. I didn't go to therapy or anything. I just bottled it. I just bottled it. So by 2019, the cork is coming undone. And this is when I moved into Libra. You think Libra scales balance, justice, balance, harmony, relationships, harmonious relationships, diplomacy. All of these things were huge for me in 2019. I was trying to keep things together. I was trying to keep it all balanced and things like that. And Libra in my natal chart is my fourth house. So even though it's the third in my progress, it's my fourth house. And a lot of things were sort of how I needed to balance things at home and this need for me to communicate my need for balance at home. Um, but yeah, it was at its peak. And in that time when my progressed moon moved, we physically moved houses. Like we physically, in August of 2019, we relocated. We moved from our apartment into an actual house. Um, it wasn't planned. Um, my son took it really hard, which is what probably caused this a bit of a spike because I didn't know what to do. We would come home and my son would have a meltdown because he didn't feel like it was home. Weeks. October is probably about the time when he finally stopped crying every time we pulled up in the driveway. Um, so it was a really, really stressful time for me. Also, Pluto was sitting in the same spot. So Pluto's in my fourth house and it was in my third house in my progress chart. So again, there's this endings, transformation, power struggles. All of these things were at play at the same time. So we look at today and I'm feeling antsy. If you know me personally and we talk on a regular basis, you know like where I'm feeling antsy. And just based on what I've told you, you can see like, oh. So today I looked at it and my moon is still in Libra, but it's at 29 degrees. So for people who don't know astrology, every sign has 30 degrees. You think about it, it's a wheel. Every sign has 30 degrees. So 29 is the critical. I'm at critical mass. I'm at critical mass right now in the sign of Libra. Something's about to move because I move into the next sign really soon. Like I'm getting ready to progress into a new sign. Um, this is a karmic degree, something transformational, something faded, something that I don't have full control over. And I can feel that. Like I can feel it. I can feel it. I'm just trying to be compassionate and gentle with myself, but I can feel it. Um, so it's moving into Scorpio, and on my progress chart, Scorpio rules my fourth house. Scorpio is a sign of endings, beginnings, death, and rebirth, transformation. It is the sign with like the emotions that are deep. Like you gotta like really peel back the layers for a Scorpio to let you into their inner place. For my moon, which is your inner place, going into Scorpio, which is just an inner. Um, yeah, I need folks to be gentle with me if it feels like I'm holding things in. If you love me, peel, unzip, help me pull it out. But it's death, rebirth, endings, beginnings, depth of emotion, transformation, sexuality, power, deep connections. So this is going to be an interesting, you know, couple of years for me, especially considering that the south node is now transiting Scorpio. This year for my solar return, I am a Scorpio rising. Um, so this is 30 days from now. The other thing that I realized is Scorpio's natural ruler is Mars. And natally, I am an Aries moon, also Mars. So there's a lot of powerful energy um, that I need to manage and allow to have space but not take over. Um, I put that I feel like Scorpio is it's a water sign. Scorpio is a water sign. It's fixed water, so it's still water. Um, and it is like with that Mars energy at play, it's like water that has a volcano in it. That's the way I feel it. Because I feel like Scorpio is like fiery water. That's how I feel about it. Um, but yeah, it was really it was wild because I was like, I know there's something. I feel there's something in the air, and I feel good. Like in all honesty, a lot of people feel like they've had some tension. There's just a lot going on. I personally feel good. Um, I don't know if that's simply because I'm just I've gone through, you know, my dark night. I've gone through a lot of stuff. And I'm now at this place where, yeah, I'm good. Um, but there's definitely, I just know something's shifting. And I can see it with the way my business is going. I'm working on a new book and the way that's flowing, and it's literally flowing, it's pouring out of me when I get started. Um, it is a poetry book, for those wondering. It is a poetry book, but it's a little different. I'm doing it a little different than the first two, and it's going to be way bigger, and it'll be a hardback because of that. I may make some paperbacks available later, but my intention anyway, is for the first version of it to be hardback because it's going to be so big. Um, but yeah, I've just been looking at it, and I just was like, okay, there's a shift getting ready to take place. And it was wild because when I pulled it up, it's 29 degrees and 56 minutes. And if you read my blog on synchronicities and how I see signs, it's 11:11. This is aligned. This is alignment. I'm just like, oh, stop. Hey, alrighty then, Lord. Be gentle with your girl. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm intrigued, definitely intrigued. And I'm ever prayerful that I continue to move in alignment with my highest and greatest good. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I don't know if you can see there's like foot on me. Because One's falling asleep beside me, one's falling asleep across from me. So I'm going to take advantage and quiet, relax. Even if I don't go to sleep, just chill out um, because all my kids are asleep. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this random video on my progressed moon, and I'll put the link for astro.com. This is where you can pull your progress chart and so you can see where your moon is. Because if you're feeling like me and you're just like, oh my God, something is happening. I don't know what it is. I just feel like something's getting ready to happen. Go see what's going on with your progressed moon. It might be getting ready to shift. You can play with the dates and then you can see, okay, where is it? How's it shifting? Okay. But thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Thank you for the like and share. If you're random, I hope you decide to stay in the garden for a little while. But this is Iadania saying good night. Bye.